I have a question, Stuart. It's Tom.
Yes,
Sometimes after working for months and months, I get massively congested, and I try to follow your advice not to expect any particular outcome, but I keep fishing around for a trap door or a ripcord or something to make the process unfold. And recently I've been trying to use that knob at the base of the skull as a point to draw energy up through my worst blockages. Do you think that's unwise at a time when I'm congested inside?
um, it's very, just open your heart, Tom. Just feel gratitude in your heart. Open your heart. Be grateful for your life. Be grateful for the people in your life. And the congestion will go away. That's where the congestion comes from. And unless a person does that, their whole system inside is going to be congested. So just open your heart. You're an easy guy to like, and you should like yourself, love yourself, be grateful for who you are as a human being. And all of that takes place in the heart. That's where, not at the, base of the neck and if you open the heart, all of the tension in the throat is going to flow down. All the tension in your head is going to flow down. So you keep your attention below the navel and just feel gratitude. Let gratitude just fill up your entire system. And all of that congestion will disappear. And it's not only you, this is a problem everybody has. Ultimately, you get down to a very simple reality. It's all about love. It's all about getting your heart open. It's all about being grateful. It's all about your self-worth as a human being. That's what decongests a person. And unless you come to that place inside yourself, the congestion will always take over. And that's all this meditation is for, to build that kind of an inner life. Using the tools we have, the mind, the breath, developing the chakra system, and getting to a place where we can just keep our hearts open. You keep your heart open, you find that internal happiness, that kind of inner peace, you worked out your karma. There'll be no more congestion. You'll be absolutely free of your karma if you do that. You can live the rest of your life being free of your karma if your heart is open and there's joy and love inside you. And all the congestion it'll come, but it'll get swept away. And Shakti and energy and an open heart will get transformed into Shakti, into energy that nurtures you. I mean, that's the key to all of this. And I don't want to, make it simplify it, because it's not. It's very difficult to do. One of the hardest people on the planet Earth to get to like is oneself. It's true. I mean, it's silly, but it's true. And I think that that is the key to your question and to most of the questions that I get from other people. It's the key. And that's all this meditation is about. It's really all it's about. Learning to live with oneself, learning to like oneself, learning to be worthy of being a child of God on this planet. When you do those things, you will decongest yourself. You'll manage to be able to take all the congestion and make it into chi. And that will give you the strength for the energy to flow inside you. I mean, there might be other answers. I don't know, but that's what after all doing this work for so many, this is what I've come up with. God is love. That's what I've come up with. God is love. And you're not going to love God until you can love yourself. I mean, honestly, I just finished this book on Tantra, and it's all about this, what I'm talking about here, decongesting oneself, how to decongest oneself so that one could have the tantric experience. And it's possible to do, except people are so freaking complicated. And they create that complication for themselves because there's a part of them that really, doesn't want to do it. It's an excuse for not succeeding in life or whatever. So just open your heart, you will get decongested. It'll come back, but it'll come back less and less because you will have the capacity to transform that congestion into joy, into love, into chi, into tantra. You develop that capacity to do that. Takes you to a whole new level in your life. Does anybody else have? I hope that's clear, Tom. I don't know how to make it any clearer.
Good answer.
Right? Well, that's for Stuart. Does anyone else have a question they would like to ask? And it's not only Tom, it's everyone sitting here. Me too. I have to deal with this also. In fact, I wrote a whole book about this. But when it gets down to it, this is what the book Tantra is about. Transformation, because that's all Tantra is. It's transformation of darkness into light. Does anyone else have a question?
Stuart,
Yes.
can you talk about living with our eyes open so we can see the signs and cues when life is guiding us?
Well, look, also it's something I've spoken about 1,000 times. When you look out at the world, and what you see is a mirror image of yourself. Now, if you're willing to accept the fact, that the world there are 8 billion people, everyone sees a different reality because everybody sees an image of themselves. Everybody is unique. And, that's an extraordinary teacher. It's extraordinary. It's telling you every second what you have to do to grow inside yourself. If you'll be willing to see it in its true context. If you want to, go around, well, I'm going to manipulate it and fix it and do all this stuff that people try to do, it absolutely leads nowhere. But if you say, okay, this is what it's teaching me. There's a war in the Ukraine. There's also a war in me. I got to fix that war in me. There's starvation in there, and there's something in me that's a little bit spiritually starved. I got to get a little more gluttonous about my spiritual work. Everything is a reminder of exactly who we are. Life is the most extraordinary teacher, but we have to be able to see it in its true context, which is seeing an image of ourselves. And then if we change inside, the world we see begins to change. Now you have a serious problem here. You have 8 billion people, and not a lot of people practice Kundalini meditation. I don't know how many, 12 people here or so, but that's not going to change. But we can change because we're able to read life, and it's telling us exactly what we need to do in ourselves to transform the darkness into light. And then we change. We see a different world. And we can deal with all the bullshit that goes on. All the soap opera, that goes on. We can deal with it. It's all transient. It comes and goes. I once wrote in a book, it's like a fart in a hurricane, It stinks for a second, then the wind just blows it through. That's all this drama. But it's an amazing teacher if we allow it to be our teacher. And that teaches us not only what we experience in the objective world, it teaches us how to go into ourselves and what we need to do to change inside, how deeply we need to go to draw down spiritual energy that can transform us inside ourselves. I mean, we're born here to learn all this. The soul comes to the earth to learn how to literally transform suffering into spiritual enlightenment. And for some insane reason, they chose bodies to be born into. Some totally insane reason. But that's the karma, and that's what the soul is here to learn how to transform suffering into enlightenment. And everything is our teacher. The only problem is we don't see it. We're so busy creating such a complicated inner life and a world around us that we don't see the simplicity of it all.
Thank you, Stuart.
You're welcome, Larry. Thank you. A very good question. You too, Tom. Very good question. Thank you. Does anyone else have a question they would like? I have a question. Okay. Yesterday I finished up this book of mine. It's probably 98% done. And I'm looking for an agent. If anybody has connections with agents that they could introduce me to, I would be very grateful. I know this is not easy, and agents are not easy. I've had them before, and they're very difficult people to deal with. But I don't want to just publish this book on Amazon. I wanted to maybe, it could be a book that a company like Abrams would publish, or, one of these people that publish these big art books. I have 108 works of art with 108 of my little essays. So, I mean, it's a really interesting thing. And if you know of an agent, or you know of somebody that might be interested in this kind of book, and knows how to get it published, I'm very interested in meeting them. So that's my question. Anybody know an agent? Does anybody else have a question they would like? At this time, I'm not just going to be interviewed by an agent. I'm going to literally interview them as well, because it's such a hard world, that world of publishing, that I don't want to spend my life being made crazy. Does anyone else have a question they would like to rest. Okay, well, thank you and bless you all. And there'll be meditation tomorrow evening. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. Have a wonderful evening, and with all gratitude and a lot of joy in my heart. I just thank everybody for being here. God bless you. Good night.
Bye.
Thank you.
You're welcome, dear.